Welcome to the Wagema show. I'm here with Miss Niemeyer. Actually, she can introduce herself. I'm here with
Miss Niemeyer.
Miss Niemeyer. She is the algebra and geometry teacher at Harwood Junior High School, and I will be asking her about AI in the classroom. Without further ado, let's get popping. Okay, so Miss Niemeyer.
Yes, sir.
In what ways do you use AI in your classroom to support learning? And if you don't, then why don't you use AI? And what?
I in my classroom because I feel like students should be able to follow the step-by-step procedures that I lay out for them in our notes to complete our assignments and learn what they need to learn. I think it could be useful as an extension so that students could research how our geometry is used in the real world.
Great answer, great answer, great answer. Survey says 100 points.
Thank you.
Okay. What do you think the main advantages of AI for teachers and students could be?
I think AI provides an opportunity for students to expand their own learning. For teachers, it may help them to come up with ideas on how to expand on the students' learnings through maybe activities.
Great answer, great answer.
Thank you.
Ooh, activities.
Another 100 points.
100 points.
Thank you.
Now, for the third question, why do you believe AI cannot fully replace a teacher's role?
Because AI does not know the parameters of what you need to know. So it may give you a lot more information than you need. And right now, as your brain is still developing, that could be overstimulating and too much for you to pare back yourself. So that's why the teacher is there to guide and to support and make sure that you're learning the information you need to learn and not necessarily all the information that's out there.
Great answer. Another 100 points. That's 300 points. Now, how do you address students who might rely too heavily on AI assignments or studying? Like, say you give them an assignment and then they go home, chat GPT it. Like, how do you address students?
Well, that's why work is always part of the grades that I give students. So I need to see that they understand the concept. Now, if they put into AI for the AI to work it out for them, well, at least they're still learning if they're writing down that process. So that's why I'm okay with that as long as they are following along with the process and they are able to explain the process to me, even if they copied it from AI.
That's another great answer. I'm giving you 150 points for that.
Yes.
Okay, now the final question I have for you, Ms. Niemeyer, is how do you see the role of teachers changing as AI continues to evolve?
I feel like with teachers using AI, we're incorporating more technology, which should be a better link between the teacher's generation and the student's generation, and hopefully the lessons become more engaging.
That's another great answer. I'm going to give you 1,000 points for that. So,
For
as
all
you heard,
people out there, that's 1,450 points.
1,450 points. You heard from Ms. Niemeyer. Thank you so much, Ms. Niemeyer, for coming on to the Zion Wagema show. I really appreciate that. And you heard it from her. Yeah, okay. See you later. Bye-bye. I'm passing the phone to Alexander Whitney.
From your perspective, how has AI changed education and the workplace?
Well, from the education point of view, me as a dyslexic kid would have loved to have speech-to-text technology, which is one of the first places where AI worked. From my workplace technology, my company was slow to adopt AI. We've only been allowed to have it in the last 6 months. And I use it mostly for formula checks in Excel for complex formulas, which has been very helpful. But I also use it often as a speech-to-text capture. So I will speak what I want to say during a PowerPoint presentation, take that recording, the automated transcript, put it into a generative like AI ChatGPT, and it helps create my script that I can then self-edit and improve upon.
Do you think schools are preparing preparing students well for future with AI?
I hope they are. One of the biggest problems with AI is identifying when something is AI, and my main concern is, will they be able to identify when the AI is lying to them? I mean, not necessarily because it means to be maliciously lying, but it's AI is an aggregate of the information that is fed, and that information can be false. I mean, there's already studies showing that so many people are misspelling certain words and have such non-standard, non-proper grammar forms that AI is responding with those misspellings and with those grammar choices that are not correct. So it's you got to be careful. I mean, it puts out what it's fed.
How do you view the balance between human skills and AI abilities in professional settings?
So again, AI is an aggregate of what it's fed, legally or not, kind of, and it can never create true original content. And that going to the lowest common denominator is never a good thing. I work in sales. I get 10 emails a month from companies that are pushing AI to write my marketing copy. Well, we have marketing teams, and I want them to improve their content, and I want that human element to write their content, because the AI content that I get, it's great for creating formulas to commingle volumes and meters and liters together, but I don't want it writing all of my sales copy. It's just, give me original content.
In your opinion, should schools limit or expand AI use in classrooms?
I believe it's great when it's an accessibility aid, because again, I'm a dyslexic adult. I was a dyslexic kid. For the kids that need that kind of access, great. But I think we should use it more like a spell checker than anything else. Much like, people were all over Wikipedia, and there's this constant battle. You cannot use Wikipedia as your source in an article, in a research article, unless the research article is about Wikipedia itself. You use Wikipedia as a launching pad to find original sources and to do the research and to dig and come up with your own conclusions. So I want them to be prepared for that. But I also hope that education is teaching kids 5 principles of good argument, how to counteract rhetoric, how to identify when the information you're being presented has a bias, has a slant, or is just flat out wrong. And if our students are not learning how to spot bias and how to identify false information, then they're being harmed. And I don't care if the information is coming from a human or an AI. You have to learn how to identify that kind of information and counter against it.
What concerns or hopes do you have about AI shaping the next generation's learning?
I do fear there might be too much of an emphasis, and people will have this swing into relying on it too much, because latest, greatest, new toy, woohoo, so powerful. So quite often I run into the stupid AI. I want the AI that can sniff out cancer cells 6 months sooner than a human. I don't want AI taking jobs that are better served by humans. And so hopefully the education prepares the kids to learn and to do all those tasks that do require original critical thinking skills. And
Thank you so much for that insight, Miss Whitney. Now I will pass it on to Brenea Norman and her sister.
What experiences led you to believe that AI can replace teachers in the classroom?
Hi, my name is Bretley Wade, and I'm a former student of Harwood Junior High. During my time student teaching, I taught a various range of age groups from second grade to freshmen at Harwood. And across these age groups, I saw throughout all of them that students were constantly turning to AI for asking for help, for summarizing, note-taking, things of that nature instead of going to their teacher. So it made me realize that AI is becoming a primary learning tool and stepping into that role of a teacher.
How do you think students lose when learning from AI instead of a teacher?
Students lose a lot when they're learning from AI instead of a human teacher, mostly because a teacher is a human being that has gone through the education, the training, and has the passion for teaching. AI doesn't know students on a personal level, so they lose a lot of that differentiated learning because not all students learn the same. So students miss out on a lot of learning that is catered to them and their needs.
Have you personally used any AI tools for learning, and how do they compare to your teachers?
I personally have used AI. I use it for a lot of note-taking and summarizing, things like that when there's a lot of information being thrown at me. Personally, I think it dulls in comparison to my teachers just because AI doesn't give you that same guidance and support, and they don't celebrate even the smallest wins that you get with a human teacher. It's a different environment when you have a two-way relationship with your teacher, and AI just makes learning feel very robotic and repetitive.
What aspects of teaching do you think AI does better than humans?
I think AI does better at the organizing and planning and formatting aspects of teaching. I am in college to become a teacher, and even in our courses right now, we're learning how to utilize AI to our advantage to quicken the process of lesson planning and creating slideshows for our class. So I think it does better at that, just so that way teachers aren't having to spend so much time out of their day getting that part of teaching done.
Do you think there are any risks in relying on AI too much for education?
Yes, there are definitely risks on both ends of it with relying too much on AI. On the teacher side, definitely there's some more of that creativity and having fun with creating your lessons rather than just letting AI do it for you. And then for the students, they lose the critical thinking and problem solving skills that they need because AI is a quick tool that just gives them the answer. They don't really have to sit there and struggle, which is an important part of learning.
Thank you so much to everyone who gave their time to do this interview with us. I really appreciate it. We all really appreciate it. Me, Brenea, and Alex. And if you couldn't already tell, our prompt was if AIs could or could not replace teachers in the classroom. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for watching this. Zion Wagema, Brenea Norman, and Alexander Whitney are signing out. Goodbye.